So, how are we going to start this thing off anyway?
I think we should start it off like one of the last 3 times we started this off, including a few seconds ago, where you started off Season 1, Episode 1 of the Hooliganz with the microphone off.
Shut up!
So naturally, here we are at the start of Season 1, Episode 1 of the Hooliganz. And once again...
I will backhand you.
The consummate professional. What is on the up and up, my nizzles and nizzleettes?
I'm not even sure how to bounce off of that. I usually have a good comeback.
If I wanted my comeback, I won't go there. I won't go there.
Thank you for not going there.
Suffice it to say, here we are. This time, 3rd time's a charm. That's how the song goes, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
2 out of 3 ain't bad, or whatever have you. Here we be, here you be, there we were, the Hooliganz, and today, Ace, you introduce it.
Let's just say today, revenge is a dish best served on cold, monofilament steel.
Fucking A, just ReVengeance is a dish best served right the fuck now! Oh my goodness, yes, Metal Gear Solid Rising ReVengeance. Now, some of you are already going, well, why are you bothering to do this when, every other reviewer out there has done it already? Because fuck you, that's why. It's awesome. It's an awesome game. I know I'm jumping ahead already, like I have done already 3 times. Actually, 2 times. Well, technically, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Ace knows what I mean.
Yeah, this is our 3rd attempt, mainly because of, technical issues with a busted-ass laptop. What are you gonna do?
It got fixed. That's the most important thing. That's just the most important thing. And now we can game on with no trouble.
Speaking of no trouble, let me go ahead and mute my phone so that way we don't get any of that business again.
Which did happen 1 recording ago. Please turn off all cell phones and smartphones. If you want to, text 54 whatever the fuck to get a stupid ass dream sent to your cell phone. Seriously, that was like the biggest waste of a $1.50 ever. If y'all ever
that thing cost a $1.50?
It was something stupid like that. If y'all ever go to the movies now, I know going to the movie theater rather than just getting it downloaded, you know what I mean. And they do those weird. If you want to, turn off your cell phone, but if you want to dream, when you turn it on, text yada yada yada, you'll get it, and it sends you like a weird little clip. Now they could have gone all sorts of different ways with that, like all Slender Man ARG and shit with it, but they didn't. And that's like an opportunity wasted.
Oh, they could have even done something so simple as sent a freaking macro of the bloody moon from Majora's Mask, with Grumpy Cat's face superimposed on that shit. That would have been hilarious.
Or what if
that would have been worth the $1.50?
Or if it was if there's a cool urban legend or something where, out of every 10 dreams you get 1 nightmare, and it looks like that scene from Event Horizon. Yeah, ain't that a good idea? Yeah. If somebody heard it, hey, if y'all are hearing about this and you control any of the movie theaters and whatnot, remember, the Hooliganz. We got it first.
But anyway, enough with the usual off-topic ranting for now. Because there's just as much interesting involved with Metal Gear Rising as there is without. For example, this game's development history and the development cycle. Holy Jesus.
Oh, yes. Hit 'em with it.
Back when Kojima Productions was first working on the game, they had this really interesting concept. They wanted to be able to actually put the players in the shoes of Raiden. Instead of just seeing all the badass cutscenes that he was in Metal Gear Solid 4, they were thinking,
which were good.
Why not actually give the players a chance to control it? To have some sort of active agency in it. Not even with QTEs, so much as just literally controlling Raiden's actions from point A to point B, from start to finish.
Getting in all that good slashy action without the inherent suggestiveness of that. slash fiction, get it? As Solid Snake on Raiden.
Oh,
God! Okay, I'll stop.
But they had the concept. They had the initial ideas worked out. But even with Kojima Productions, they had their limits. And this was one of those things where they had everything, but they didn't really know how to fit the puzzle pieces together. So they took a little bit of time to actually look around and, try to see what other companies they could collaborate with. And they came across Platinum Games.
Which naturally kind of covers their one flaw. Well, some people would say a lot of flaws, but come on, it's CoPro. They know their shit. They've done good games. Now, yeah, there are all sorts of people in disagreement with that, but whatever the fuck. They've put out some pretty good games in the past. Certainly a solid foundation of tactical, of that stealth gameplay combined with I'm not going to say first-person shooter, but certainly, modernized weapons and also plenty of toys for you to fuck with.
Yeah, and even outside of the Metal Gear Solid series, there's also the Zone of the Enders games.
Yeah.
Again, basically between those two franchises, between Metal Gear and Zone of the Enders, CoPro has a pretty impressive track record as far as development, as far as just putting out games with solid mechanics and solid gameplay.
But where they are flawed in is pure action adventure. The kind of action that's such a, if I may use the term sparingly and without irony even, blade mode. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, to be able to handle something of that nature, they had to go outside the box. They had to go outside of themselves.
And up to this point, or up to that point I should say, Platinum Games had already proven themselves... Well,
a grunt is all you're gonna get from me. You don't even need to finish that line. This is Platinum Games. If you are following the Hooliganz, if you are listening to our bullshit, you should know exactly who the fuck Platinum Games are. You should know who Clover Games are, and you should know that our opinions about them. It's not even that I hold them in a high fanboyish zeal or something like that. No, we recognize how fucking good these games are. Ace, would you like to do the list?
Let's go.
Let's go.
For those of you that haven't been following us, but actually want to get a little bit more info, I'll break it to you like this. Platinum Games is an ex-Capcom squad. Back when the majority of that staff was with Capcom, they were known as Clover Studio, which brought us such fantastic PS2 titles as Beautiful Joe 1 and 2.
And the handhelds. The handheld version, yeah.
Okami.
Yes.
And...
here it comes.
God Hand.
10 out of 10, best game ever. If you don't agree, fuck you.
Now, unfortunately, Capcom being Capcom, taking something good and shooting themselves with the foot.
Mega Man. Yeah, Mega Man.
They wound up closing down Clover Studio, like pretty much after the release and initial distribution cycle of God Hand. Clover Studios wound up getting shut down. Just recently, again, they made their comeback. They pretty much made their comeback and restructured as Platinum Games.
Oh God.
And Platinum Games has introduced to the market, again, such pure action classics as Bayonetta, Mad World,
yes,
and Mad World's spiritual successor, which was just released shortly before Metal Gear Rising, and which we will also be doing a review on down the pike.
Thank you.
Anarchy Reigns.
And yes, it did rain. Supreme!
It rained bodies. It rained violence.
Oh.
It rained...
bloody fucking fun! That's what it did!
We should use that as the start for that review.
We shall. But suffice it to say, these, and also let's not forget, they're also working on Bayonetta 2. That has been confirmed for the Wii U, which is still the dumbest fucking name Nintendo could have ever given us. I'm sorry, but back when it was the Revolution, I was like, yes! I dig this! I support that, and it's the Wii! It's like, oh, that's how very cute of you.
Wii.
And now it's Wii U. Oh my god. There's, you know what? Somebody really likes some Enter the Fist action or something. Some Kung Pao bullshit.
Really?
Wii U, Wii U, Wii U! All that other good shit.
But to finish up on the development history for this game now, basically, the guys at CoPro brought what they had for Metal Gear Rising, which was at first just going to be entitled Metal Gear Solid Rising. It was going to be a part of the, core Metal Gear Solid series, Metal Gear Solid's portion of the franchise.
Well, not to jump ahead, but because this is actually technically part of the gameplay or just timeline. But suffice to say, this does take place when in the Metal Gear Solid canon?
It takes place after Metal Gear Solid 4, a good 3 or 4 years afterward.
Ah.
So yeah, the fact that it was going to initially be a Metal Gear Solid game instead of a Metal Gear parallel, it makes sense, and it could have still worked as a Metal Gear Solid game. It still could have worked as an entry in that portion of the series.
And once again, not to jump ahead beyond the gameplay and such, but yeah, the stealth tactics that are still prevalent in a game where pretty much you can just run into the middle of a room, go, "Hey boys, I'm here," and then kill everyone. Just seriously.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
It's like, hi guys, bye guys.
Bye. Dead bodies everywhere. Pretty much. Yeah. So we were.
But they took the basic skeleton, the basic bare bones of the game, to Platinum Games, and they basically said, "Hey, this is what we've got so far. We're hoping you guys will be able to work with us on this. Let's see what you can come up with." A week later.
A single week.
We are talking
later.
7 calendar days later.
And on the 7th day, they did not rest. They made it awesome.
These boys came back with a mock-up of the game that would eventually become Metal Gear Rising, and it was exactly what they were looking for. It was a seamless integration of the cutting mechanic and just the intuitive control scheme that they wanted to introduce for this new series.
Metal Gear Demo 1, you shall cut the watermelon.
And yeah, the watermelon and more was cut.
I don't care.
Checks were cut.
I don't care if it's racist or not. I don't even know if it is racist or not, and I'm a pretty racist motherfucker. Especially if y'all followed us from Season 0, you know I'm a racist motherfucker. I hate everybody equally. Fuck all y'all. But I'm just saying, I wanted this game because I wanted to cut the watermelon. And I don't know if it's because of the white side of me or the black side of me. I think it's both. I think it's just the very idea of you must cut the watermelon, all done Neon Genesis Evangelion style and whatnot. Like, if you don't do that, then the egg of Adam will open forth into the tree of knowledge and fuck everything up. And then Shinji will run crying like a bitch.
As usual.
While we wave our weeaboo tendencies around. So, suffice it to say, the unholy and completely delicious union of CoPro and Platinum Games gave us this. And this is awesome. I know there are some reviewers out there who completely disagree with us, and that's cool, whatever. Hey, for some people what is fun, others is not. I'm not much for RTSs, but every now and then I find myself enjoying it. I like Brutal Legend. You know what I mean? It all depends on what you're into. Now, admittedly, it kind of hurts my feelings, my emotions, to know that certain reviewers that I really, really like are like, this game sucks! And it's like, oh, what? What? It kind of makes you just kind of look at them and go, wait, what?
Huh?
Really? Dude, there's fanboyism and there's anti-fanboyism, cut the zeal down, but that's why we're here to bust out the brass tacks about why this game is good. We're not just here saying this game is good. We're going to give it the treatment. Y'all already know how we do it. Hooliganz.
So, with that said, giving it the treatment, we're just going to go ahead and cut right to the part where...
I see what you did there.
Oh, God. That pun was completely unintended. They even smacked me out of nowhere.
Oh, wow. Let's just cut to the point here.
But we're going to cut right to the part where, from what I've seen, most other reviewers actually use to describe just how quite literally awesome, and I mean in the dictionary sense, inspiring and worthy of awe, this game can get at a good number of pivotal points throughout it. Now, before I go into it though, just note, you can just completely blaze through this game, and you know, it'll be what I like to call a short shootout. But this is definitely one of those games where you can learn it, and the learning curve isn't that steep, and it's still fun. But much like with everything Metal Gear, when you start digging into it, when you really start digging into it, you got a long way to dig.
This is a truly good cut of prime rib, is the way I am gonna use that metaphor. It is a good cut of prime rib. It's not just the overt meat juice or the meat taste. It's the underlying flavors that go into this. Yes, it is a short shootout, if I may just throw this out there, at what, 6 hours is the average I'm hearing is clocked in at? And that's with reading the codex, you know?
No, that's not.
Oh, well, see,
that's
there
not
you go.
reading the codex.
If you're gonna speedrun the motherfucker, 6 hours. You know, that's just putting it out there lightly. But there is the codex conversations, and that's what I really liked, is the fact they brought that, like, back. They just put it in here, you know? Good old Metal Gear Solid 1 and even 2 goodness, you know what I mean? The only thing that I really had it now, this shows you where CoPro did take a step back and allow Platinum Games to do this, in that the codex, I was expecting, well, you remember the Mei Ling trick, where you keep bothering her and she just kind of just glares at you after a while, or just when you start bothering people and they literally point blank tell you, fuck off and play the game.
You know, like in Warcraft 3, when you keep poking at the orcs and you get, stop bugging me!
Yeah, I was expecting something like that. And after a while, it does start to cycle through stuff they've already said. And it's not that I have an issue with that, personally. It's just, and in fact, you'll hear this from me several times in this review. There are certain things I expect from this game, like anyone else, being a Konami Productions game, a co-pro game. You know, and it was not there. But at the same time, that's because it's a Platinum game as well. And where it does fall through on certain tropes, certain points in the game, I thoroughly expect them to pick it up if there's a sequel. Something else you will also hear probably from both of us throughout the entire review. For real. This game needs a sequel. I'm jumping ahead, I'm sorry. Let's get to this.
Let's get to this, huh?
After I just effectively derailed us completely into the pits of hell.
No, you were actually on a pretty good roll, so it's just like, you know, again, how am I going to jump off on this? But
the cutscenes are fucking excellent. How about that?
Okay, yeah. Again, you know, various things to expect from both a Konami Productions game and a Platinum game. I mean,
oh, here comes the scary.
Let's just go right into the story. As we mentioned earlier, this takes place 3 to 4 years after the events of Metal Gear Solid 4. So we catch up with Raiden working as a security consultant. And we already start the game seeing one of the, if not the, most badass character in this camp. That's saying something.
If I may throw this out there, you know, certain reviewers, I'm not going to give names. You thought I was going to, but I'm not. I'm really not. Some of them have gone on to say that at 6 hours speedrun, probably you can go faster, whatever. Damn! That there's no characterization, there's no character growth or development. And I
would beg to differ.
Yeah, I strongly beg to differ.
I mean, playing the demo, there was so much character,
personality,
backstory, just literally oozing from it.
And that's what I expect out of a good game, by the way. Character, story, plot. You know, each of the characters involved in here have their reasons for doing what they're doing. And yeah, you got now here's the good old co-pro. When you have motherfuckers discussing battlefield philosophy over a field of corpses, that's a good Metal Gear game in my opinion. That's exactly what I expect. And with that stated, yeah, these characters are dynamic. They have their own reasons for doing what they're doing, and even if you don't agree with it, that's the whole point to the game. You know what I mean? That's the whole point to the biz. To philosophy to begin with, really. I hate to be that universal about it, but you know.
No, it's very true. But again, just all of the characters, all of the major characters in this game. I mean,
hell, minor characters even.
Yeah, I mean, like Prime Minister and Monty.
Oh God! Now that
is a charismatic dude.
And not only is he a charismatic dude, but even after a certain situation, his presence is still felt through Raiden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, you know, Raiden, Raiden is a character who's been polarizing from the start.
And, need I point out, been put through the ringer. And the worst part about it is, everything in 2 and 4 was only the beginning. This very pretty young man, as you are about to see in this cutscene, or not this cutscene alone, but up until a certain point while we're doing this review, you will see for yourself, this boy earns his stripes. He earns losing that green horn, that cherry. This nigga here, he's gonna get beat the fuck down. Spoiler, by the way.
You could say
Let's get this over with.
He winds up being very much so classified as a cut above the rest.
Oh, I see what you did there. You said I cut above the rest. This is funny because this whole point of this game is the blade mode. Well,
speaking of the blade mode,
here we are in the meat of the subject of the game. You don't have that ability yet.
Who cares?
Cut him up so much the processor said, fuck it. I'm not even going to render it anymore. Suffice it to say, what you're seeing here is the core of the game, really, as far as the game goes. You dodge, you parry, you blade mode, you zandatsu that ass, and you go from there. Collect goodies.
Now, the big thing about this is that technically, I guess you could say some would say that there's a steep learning curve to this because there is no block button in a sense.
There is none.
There's a parry mechanic, which I demonstrated earlier. With the ninja run, you could deflect bullets from small arms fire
and pull off parkour bullshit where you just pretty much don't have to give a fuck about the environment. Which, if you ask me, is actually kind of cool.
There we go.
And of course, there is these countermeasures. I wouldn't say a la God Hand because, you know, if you counter in God Hand, they feel it.
Oh, they feel it all right.
But on the other hand, it is just, I mean, this is just the basics of what you're going through. Now, I would like to point out that some reviewers out there, especially during the demo, had an issue with how the precision of the blade mode is. You know, where you have to line it up and with one button and then you go with the other one. But, you know,
there are actually 2 ways to use the blade mode, to be honest.
Yeah, instantaneous.
Yeah, I mean, like it's showing on the screen right now, you can either use square and triangle for the vertical and horizontal slices, or if you really want to go for precision, like you actually have to in certain fights later on in the game, then you can line it up and use the right stick, you know, flicking the right stick in various directions to actually control the slashing itself.
And keep in mind, you have one finger on the shoulder button, the other, and your thumbs are free. And it's not like your character is moving around. You're standing still, lining shit up, moving shit around. You get I mean, it is a really intuitive process once you actually get into it.
Basically, they put you behind the blade when it comes to blade mode.
Which is what this game is about. You know, once again, I'll say this a lot probably, some reviewers have pointed out that, oh, I love this cutscene! Everybody looks like Wesley Snipes.
But we mentioned the characterization earlier. We mentioned, again, just...
Honey, I'm home!
You know, stuff being awesome.
Here comes the awesome.
I'm sorry, seeing Metal Gear Raid jump out of the bay, the first time I saw that... yeah.
Oh, you kidding? The first time?
The first... Hell, damn near every subsequent time afterward. The Metal Gear fanboy in me is just letting out a high-pitched schoolgirl squeal.
And clapping his hands furiously. Oh, shit. And now, speaking about...
But back to what I was mentioning about characterization, though. I mean, here you get your introduction to...
Sundowner.
Yeah. Sundowner was designed to be, quite frankly, terrifying.
Brutal.
And that weapon right there. Just...
Oh. And then it gets good. See, it's already been great. But then it gets good. right about here. I dig that scene. Suffice it to say, we're like not even, 5 minutes into this game, and already you've been hit with some serious shit!
Yeah, this DeLorean has not hit 88 miles per hour yet.
But we are generating the requisite number of gigawatts. Gigahoos? Okay, I'm sorry, that was bad.
You're Jack.
Yeah.
What do you want with the Prime Minister?
When this thing does hit 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Personal course.
Where we're going, we don't need roads!
It's just getting a bit too peaceful. What?
Africa's getting too peaceful. Oh, it's pretty bad when we both laugh at that shit. Hello, folks. We're back, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and skip past this cutscene and just get straight to
the good.
even more awesome.
So here comes a great, I don't even know where to go with this. Okay, so the gameplay, yes, we were mentioning QTEs earlier, and QTEs do happen to come up in just a few. First and foremost, you're gonna have to dodge the missiles and cut the feet. Now, you told me and in fact you showed me. Oh, holy shit, you can parry that.
Yep.
So yeah, welcome to the tutorial level of the game. You gotta love just blade moding the fuck out of this thing, which you couldn't in the other Metal Gears, and it has such a satisfying feel to it. You know what else has a satisfying feel to it? Taking this thing head on. Hey, can't you actually cut the... Is that Rules of Nature right here in the background?
Yes, that is.
Awesome! I'm just gonna cut to it, I'm sorry. Fucking A, that pun. Rules
You're gonna be hearing that pun a lot too.
Well, let's just trim off the fat off this one and get a slice of our review. Oh god, we should really start off with that. Suffice it to say, the soundtrack is fucking excellent.
Now that we're actually talking about the more technical portions of the game anyway, yes, the soundtrack, amazing. The way that the music is actually queued up to each major event.
Yeah, and it flows wonderfully with the actions. It's almost as if the game is reading what you're doing and saying, oh, time to play this song.
I mean, even if you're taking on a multi-part boss fight, like facing off against Metal Gear Ray, as we are right now,
or Mistral, or any of the other Winds of Destruction, as they're called here.
There are various portions of each fight where you'll hear different parts of what could basically be described as their theme music.
Yeah. Rules of Nature is actually for, what was that guy's name again? Tsunami?
No, Rules of Nature is actually the theme for Metal Gear Ray.
Oh, I thought that was what's-his-face, the one with the size. Oh.
Monsoon, that's Stains of Time.
Oh yeah! I keep forgetting. But still, Rules of Nature I fucking love. That and I'm My Own Master Now. I mean, the songs are amazing. They will stick with you, and they will get you hyped. They'll get you pumped. For real. Oh.
I love it when Boris says, no, bring that thing down. Oh, Jesus!
Ah! Ninja run! Ninja run! And then you got this!
Bang.
QTEs that matter. They feel organic, they're good, and because ultimately,
you just have to caber toss a Metal Gear.
you must... Oh my god, this game! And here's the part that every reviewer uses because it perfectly sums up this game. Over the top, amazingly awesome, the glorious noise of the music and the sound. The sounds are wonderful. The game feels great cutting shit up. I fucking love that moment! Shoulder throw a Metal Gear goddamn Ray.
And again, technically, that's the first...
That was the first
boss fight. Is your adrenaline pumping yet? If not, I do not think you are human.
I never thought, honestly, I would ever say something like, man, I never saw Solid Snake shoulder throw a fucking Metal Gear Ray, but I did. And he's fucking Solid Snake, you know what I mean? He's Solid Snake.
But whereas with the Metal Gear Solid games, like say Metal Gear Solid, well, the upcoming Metal Gear Solid 5.
Ah. Wait, is that Phantom Pain or Peace Walker? Peace Walker's cool. What are you talking about?
That's Phantom Pain and Ground Zeroes.
Ground Zeroes, yeah.
Basically, those two were being advertised as separate games, but that whole thing is going to be Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
But pretty much in the Metal Gear Solid games, you know, you feel like you are Snake. Those tense moments where you're trying to infiltrate, say, Shadow Moses, for example. Oh, Jesus. Is this the actual shot? Is this the shot? This is the shot. Yes, this is. Whoop.
There you go.
Those moments where you're trying to infiltrate Shadow Moses as Snake, you feel the tension.
Yeah. Which is the way that game's supposed to be played. It's a stealth-based tactical shooter.
These moments where you're facing off against Ray, and again, where you get to jump up and cut this thing's armor off, whether or not you're using the face buttons or the right stick, you do feel like you are behind the blade. You're the one holding this thing as you make every single bloody incision, even the ones that miss and, you know, allow those missiles to tag me square in the face.
But you know what? It still feels good. It feels where it's supposed to be, and above all, it feels like you're actually cutting something, which is, once again, something other reviewers have pointed out. You know, usually when you play video games and blades are involved, hell, even, and I do like them, I need to point out, but even I gotta say,
even in Dynasty Warriors,
hell, even in the Elder Scrolls, any of them, it doesn't feel like you're wielding a sword. It feels like you're hitting something with a baseball bat. Damn it, when you get cut, this happens. Maybe not this, but you know what I mean. You cut shit up. You slice shit. You damage flesh. You ruin clothes. No, this game has one thing and one thing only going for it, in my opinion. It makes you feel awesome.
And they actually managed to find a way for that to carry through damn near the entire game.
Which is awesome! Speaking of which, here comes another one of those parts that I've never been in love with a game the way I'm just in love with this. And mind you, I was pretty much this, like, you know, this really hardcore heart-throbbing about it with, like, Guilty Gear, you know what I mean? The glorious noise and the feeling of kicking ass. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
And now comes the time. I ain't saying shit.
Just bask in the awesome. Seriously, every time I play this part, I just get so hyped up. And again, just the musical cues. As soon as you start running along the missiles and you hear "Rules of Nature,"
here's the thing, though.
You go ballistic.
Here's the thing, though. It's about to get better. Here it comes.
Something a little reminiscent of Bayonetta, ladies and gentlemen. Racing down ye old clock tower.
Dodging all sorts of crazy shit going on.
Whoop. Okay, just as long as I don't get hit, and here we go.
Bitch,
oh, yeah.
This ain't done.
Who's up for Metal Gear Tail Stakes? Metal Gear Tail Stakes.
Oh.
Feel the badass flow through ya.
My God. That doesn't look like fun to you. There is something wrong with you. Jumping missiles, running down the clock tower, dodging all sorts of crazy shit, a part of the clock tower, falling on your ass. Gah!
Hell, I'm pretty sure even watching this, for those of you that don't have the game yet, that probably couldn't afford to pick it up on release, it is still like $50-$60. Yes, we're changing the platform a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, you're jumping ahead,
for those of you who weren't able to pick it up just yet, I'm pretty sure that if you're watching this, you're practically experiencing the adrenaline vicariously through us.
Which is good.
If you're not, you know, watching Raiden look like he's me running after a bus.
I was gonna mention, look, it's Ace trying to get to work. Damn it, no! Ah!
Stop the bus! Stop the bus!
Now, if you don't mind me getting a little bit fabulous about it, I'd like to point out armored heals. Of course, these actually have a use, you know, especially later on. Suffice it to say, yeah. So, visual. The game is good. The game is good. The game is good. Excellent.
It sounds excellent. The gameplay again is it's intuitive. It feels natural.
I don't think there's any real like glitches that occur in this game.
There are some, you know, mainly collision detection issues. But
yes.
again, considering this is a game where damn near the entire environment is designed to be cut.
I think we should really broach it. Okay, now that you've broached the subject, we have a good segue going on, and a cutscene. I'd like to point out that not everything in the environment is cuttable.
That's why I said damn near.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I wouldn't even say damn near. In fact, I would say the amount of things you cannot cut is surprising. Oh, God, that scene.
Again,
God,
terrifying.
that was painful. Yeah.
What about all the good
Motherfucking Sundowner.
for us? Why don't we ever hear speeches about that? Jobs, technology, a common purpose.
And then you got Jetstream Sam, who actually that'll open up the DLC in just a few. Suffice it to say, and some of you who are in the know what I'm talking about. Suffice it to say, like I said, it's when I was playing the game, you know how I was doing it. I was experimenting with as much as I could, but I still couldn't find as much as I could cut as you did. You know, like the actual bridges.
Yeah.
And I understand not being able to cut the cat later on, because, you know, there's a cat that shows up on the beach, and you can't cut the fucker, he just keeps dodging you no matter what, and I think it's kind of cute. It's Kojima. Oh! Here comes the scene. Oh!
No.
Rivers of gore! Rivers of gore! And that is the moment that Jack
And
really became
Sundowner
stained.
just kicked your dog.
Yeah, yeah! No, seriously, that's where Jack truly became stained, in my opinion. Up until then, he was still trying to be a good guy. But I think that's where it began, the whole, you know, the thing, I'm not gonna say backslide into terror. Admittedly, no, it's when you get your ass handed to you by Sam.
He's all yours, Sam.
That is a terrifying, terrifying phrase, and you're about to find out why.
Let's go.
Man, I like to point out one of the finest examples of what a real gun blade should be, a gun sword, whatever.
And tell me, for those of you that have played this game, don't try and lie to me and say that you didn't do this when you were first facing off against Sam.
It's that John Woo in you.
Mightier than the pen after all.
Everybody has a little John Woo in them.
And even though, okay, small spoiler, that ain't much of a spoiler, even though this is supposed to be a freaking squash battle.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's
win.
face it, at the start of the game, oh, well, you're about to see. But even though this is supposed to be a squash battle, this is actually literally one of my favorite singular battles in the game.
Once again, the music lining up, the only thing I know for real and playing in the background.
Yep.
Getting your ass handed to you. You know, I don't like squash matches, especially if I don't know it's supposed to be a squash match. But god damn, this is one of the few battles I've enjoyed losing. Mainly because at least it's not like he punks you out. You lose in a way that it's like, god damn, I deserve to lose.
Yeah, you lose in a way that pretty much says, you're good, but this is motherfucking Jetstream Sam. This is Samuel L. Rodriguez, damn it, and he will cut you.
Say K again. Say K again.
And he will cut
shit!
you.
I have never seen that.
This will be unpleasant. Yes, it already has been, but I don't care. It's awesome. Oh shit!
Oh my god, I have never seen this before. I'm just saying, I think we're seeing some shit here that's new for me. Usually I'd have got my ass handed to me by now. Admittedly.
Not again.
Speaking of which,
I kind of did. I'll admit that.
Yeah. Oh damn. Suffice it to say, you're about to see what we mean by it's a real gunblade. So, we've actually covered the glitches. We've covered DLC. That's what we need to cover.
There we go.
After this.
Yeah, you're about to see again. You know how Jackie Boy earns his stripes.
Yeah, but getting his shit slammed by the greatest motherfucker on the face of the planet. By the time we've gotten to this cutscene, this dude has fucked at least 10 mothers.
Blood of your enemies. But you
And impregnated 2 dogs.
No.
Hi, Chihuahua.
Oh! That cut a little deep. Hey, there's something wrong with your eye, friend. Here we go.
Let me help you out with that, partner.
Come on! Do you have any idea how much I screamed when I first saw that?
You!
Ace was the... Oh, yeah. I mean, that is the most singular badass thing I've ever seen. That is that scene in oh, wait a minute. Here it comes.
Yeah, the most singular badass thing you've ever seen. Followed in short order by this.
Breaking his own rhythm to get him in close and then fuck his shit good. Gunblade! Damn it!
Squall, take notes.
Squeenix take notes. God damn.
And that grin. That rat.
Yeah, but then this line.
Grin.
The line coming up. Oh god. It's just. Oh boy.
And now for the rest of the squash match.
Do you think you are in a squash match yet? A match where you are going to lose.
He's a one-eyed, one-armed, not so flying, not so purple people eater.
Wow.
Yes, I just said that.
Practice first.
Oh man, he's the one-eyed, one-armed man on the grassy knoll. Oh, who just got his ass handed to him and tossed off a train. Oh man. Suffice it to say,
To a sword fight.
the DLC that came out with this. Now, if any of you followed us in Season 0, or just know us to begin with, you know I have issues with modern-day DLC practices.
I'll go ahead and skip this
That
cutscene
stated-
because I know you guys have already seen it. And in fact,
You also already know that Boris is a badass, that your entire crew is a badass. What are they called again? What is this unit called again?
Maverick Security Consultant.
Yes, Maverick Security Consultants. Suffice it to say, they got a team of real cool peoples backing you up. And that's all well and good. That's all. And they're pretty much the calm team that you've always ever had in a Metal Gear Solid game. You know, like in the original, you had Mei Ling.
You got Mei Ling, Naomi, Colonel Campbell,
Wooly.
Master Miller.
Spoiler, don't trust Master Miller. You know, we did this in the second take, too. That just dawned on me. In the second time we tried this. Suffice it to say, in this time around, you get Boris, who's a badass, and who's also involved in the Big Shell incident back in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of the guys who survived, apparently, and walked away with the idea of never allowing that to happen again to a mercenary unit, so he founded Maverick. Brought you in, or Raiden in, brought in Keith? Kevin! Why do I keep calling him Keith? He brought in the Black Power Ranger, who is the coolest brother this side of anywhere. Courtney, Doctor, who handles the battle points. Throughout the game, not only do you get electrolytes by devouring and destroying your enemies in a precise manner, but also if you cut off their left hands, I do believe, the left arm, yeah, you get extra battle points, which we put towards, well, some of the things you saw Ace do. We should have really warned you, this is not a level 1 character. By now, I think he's unlocked everything.
Well, all that stuff that I was doing just here is... You're defaulted to that at the beginning.
Oh, I never... Well, no, there was that jump kick. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Well, suffice to say, you do unlock certain unlockables, you know, different weapons that you can also Mega Man out from bosses that you defeat, which is fucking excellent! Moves that are acquired for those, increased armor, health, blade mode, energy packs, you know, that kind of stuff. But the only problem is... This is one of those things where I do agree with some reviewers in that there is a change limits to the amount of stuff you can unlock. Considering that it's both a Platinum Games and a Kojima game, Kojima Pro, you know, it's kind of weird. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I would really like to see that open up in a sequel. Give us more stuff, more bosses, more of that!
Actually, this seems to be a good time to go ahead and go into the cons that are actually... that are actually in this game. Not necessarily plaguing it, because it doesn't really bring it down to a level where it makes this any worse a game.
That's true.
But at the same time, you know, there are some things wrong with this game that could stand to be fixed.
Hey man.
One of my personal beefs, one of my biggest beefs, and it's saying something that amongst all of the technical and audiovisual marvel that this game damn near dumps into your lap
This makes
like
you feel
a pot of hot coffee.
This makes you feel like you are playing on the PS3 or any current gen system.
Even in the midst of all that, there are still a few glaring issues that it seems could only be fixed with a sequel. I mean, one of the minor issues I have with this is, how some of the story exposition is handled. There are some things where you won't really get the full grasp of the situation unless you actually dig through the codec conversations, and some revelations could have actually stood to be revealed in game as actual cutscenes or at least little events. It would have actually expanded the playtime for the game a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's that minor gripe.
And actually, I was going to bring that up myself in that I've read a lot about people complaining about the story. Not the story itself, Jesus, God, no. But once again, there's certain things that they kind of apparently leave unanswered. But it is a co-pro game in that sense, and I would like to point out that's why sequels are made, in order to answer questions. Hopefully not take away things, hopefully not screw with the storyline or
there are some small things like, excuse me. like how exactly the LQ-84I comes to be redesigned as the Blade Wolf. I mean,
for those of you, I thought I was actually answered just by Doctor saying I did it. And for the record, LKQ-41, it was an artificial intelligent creature that you fight in this game, in what has to be the most erection-causing boss battle outside of flipping a motherfucking ray.
You fight him if you've played the demo, then you already know who we're talking about,
including the greatest song ever, "I'm My Own Master Now." Oh God, that song.
But again, I mean, you get a small explanation, but it's not. Again, it's something that's practically relegated to just a codec conversation.
Yeah.
And you don't even really get that. I mean, it just when you start up the next portion of the game where you actually have Wolf as part of your team, he's just there.
Which I do understand, and I'm not even defending. You're right in that sense. Yeah, it just pops up out of nowhere, but at the same time,
I mean, it's understandable, but it again seems like one of those things where you could just very easily throw in a small, like maybe 1 or 2 minute segment. Let's say Raiden actually excuse me, Raiden actually finding a way to take the pieces from what was left of the LQ-84I after he had already cut it up during that boss fight, and going, something seems kind of interesting about this. Hey, Doctor, what can you do with it? Again, just that little, I guess you could say, the link that continues the combo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it does jump. And it literally does jump from the end of the first portion to right into the second portion, when you're in, Brazil, South America? Somewhere.
Yeah.
You're somewhere in South America, and just boom. And even you get a badass car, you get your Blade Wolf, your homeboy throughout the game.
But yeah, it seems kind of jumpy.
But I still think that this kind of stuff can be answered in a sequel.
Yeah, it can be answered. That stuff can be answered in a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
especially by the time you're bros with the damn thing by the end of the game. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it can be easily handled in a fucking lunchroom sequence in the sequel. I'm just saying. Now,
but it's one of those things that it still seems like it's small enough that it could have been handled just in a little throwaway cutscene in this as well.
Well,
So again, I mean, that's a minor gripe. Another minor gripe that I have, one that I didn't bring up during the last couple of times we tried doing this review, and okay, no, it's not a minor gripe. It's actually the most major gripe that I have. The one that I was referring to earlier.
The collision detection?
No. One particular portion of the voice acting.
Uh-oh.
Now, everyone else in this game, phenomenal. I mean, just flat out fantastic. I mean,
the way it should be.
I mean, hell, the voice acting is another one of those things that actually brings out the characterization, that brings out the character itself of all the different players in the game. And I Hell, I even like freaking Senator Armstrong. That should tell you something.
Boy, I played
Try
Texas.
University of Texas.
I played university football, god damn it. Nanomachine, son.
Senator Armstrong was
Nanomachine.
awesome. But my biggest gripe is with Raiden.
What?
Quentin Flynn. Dude,
Really? Well,
you hear him over the course of the game. Raiden is going to be your main homeboy. That is the dude you control. But the performance itself, it feels like literally 4 different variations of the same character, and you don't know which motherfucker you're gonna get from one point to the next.
spoiler alert. So I know for a fact that with the Jack the Ripper persona, spoiler, with the Jack the Ripper persona, he really should have a different voice in my opinion.
And that's understandable.
But the other 3.
But I mean, it would be understandable if there was, if there was normal Raiden, serious business, just the default Raiden. But it seems like in trying to convey the emotional range that Raiden actually has, and trying to convey the emotional and psychological roller coaster that this kid goes through over the course of the game.
He goes through the grinder.
He
gets his shit fucked up. Look at him.
It feels inconsistent in the non-Jack the Ripper portion.
It feels forced is what I think it is, because where it should be a smooth roller coaster, as you pointed out, and instead you have 3 jarring, almost, not juxtaposed, what's the word I'm looking for? Just set side by side. Yeah, juxtaposed.
Yeah, it's...
juxtaposed, yeah. Versions of what he's trying to do with no in-between. There's no segueing from one voice to the other. It's just him Quentin Flynn, trying to rise to the challenge. But, maybe it will get better. Maybe it will get better. I'm just saying, for the sequel...
Again, this game needs a sequel.
This game needs a sequel bad.
But, I mean...
It needs a sequel like I need a 9th penis tentacle.
I mean, I don't want to come off sounding like I'm knocking on the guy, because, I mean, he's good.
He does a good enough job.
He does a good job, and, he's a prolific voice actor in and of himself. But really,
he's not Johnny Young Bosch, though.
But really, this is one of those where it just feels like his performance could have used a little more consistency,
a little smoothness,
a little more smoothness.
But on the other hand, I would like to point out that while you do have Quentin Flynn, rampaging and stumbling through these performances, you do have the rest of the cast, which is excellent, believable, good, and above all, memorable. Even the accents are good. Boris is great. Boris is a bro, you know what I mean? He's one of the best motherfuckers out there. Doctor, he's
believably German.
Very believably German. Very highly German. Like, when you're reading, if you ever read Helsing, if you don't mind me throwing that out there, the manga, and that's the voice I hear when I hear all the Germans.
I mean, hell, even when you're dealing with the winds of destruction.
Mel Brooks Germans.
Just even when you're dealing with the winds of destruction, the various backgrounds, the various walks of life that they come from, they're all so believable in just the performance and just the little things, the accents, like, again, Mistral.
I would like to point out
Algerian French. Half Algerian, half French.
Oh, God, so hot.
And, again, just, you can feel the silkiness, yet at the same time, the sort of, from the gut, and very much not forced feeling that comes from just her accent.
I would like to point out, though, that with Mistral being the only female out of the crew, out of the Winds of Destruction, that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing that they gave her a quote-unquote, air quoting, breastplate. It's not even bad that it was like they kept remarking on how wonderfully natural they seem. Gotta love them pixelated titties. But at the same time, it was such a Suda 51 moment. Like, out of nowhere, you got Doctor, of all people, commenting on how natural she looks. I wonder if that's the natural... Oh, no, that's right. That's the only part of her that's not cybernetic. And it's like, oh my God,
it's
did
like,
he just
Doc,
say
really?
that? Dude, you blue-balled fucking kraut bastard. like it's like, wow. And then it's like, yeah, it was just such a Suda 51 moment that it's not that I'm knocking on it. And honestly, it is a very platinum moment, if you ask me. It is a very platinum moment that to have this super sexy cyborg try to kill your shit. Just period.
But now, to bring it all home,
DLC?
Exactly.
Ah, yes.
Let's go to the DLC. And generally, DLC in most games, it's like my least favorite part of reviewing or even talking about certain games because
we will snarl, we will growl, we will rampage and get mad because most DLC practices nowadays is pretty much along the lines of highway robbery. Like fucking land baron bullshit.
But then there are times where you get DLC that is worth it and then some.
Yes, yes.
We are talking worth its weight in, drumroll please, platinum.
Ah!
And this is one of those very rare, very welcome cases where, yes, the DLC is worth its weight in platinum. And also, I get this feeling that the DLC may actually answer my earlier gripe about story exposition.
We can hope.
Because the first DLC that you got with this game, for free, mind you, I think it was only for a limited time though, but for free, 30. That's right, 30 DLC VR missions.
You know, when I was your age, you kids with your venereal diseases and PS200s, we had to buy VR mission games after the game came out.
Actually, yes, Metal Gear Solid VR Missions was a separate game in and of itself.
Yes, it was.
With this, the 30 missions are just thrown right in there for you as free DLC.
Which, hell, you actually start off with, like, what, 12 you can find throughout the game for free? To begin with.
To begin with, you start off with, I believe it was like 20.
Oh, wow.
You have 20 VR missions that you can find throughout the game just playing as Raiden.
And then
there's the 30 that they throw on you right there, boom, for free.
Why? Because they apparently love us. And that's a good feeling as a consumer, as a customer, as a gamer. That's a good feeling.
There are also various skins that you could get for Raiden as, well, some that are available as DLC, like the pre-order bonus, the Grey Fox skin, which actually comes with its own weapon and enhancements as well, which I thought was an absolutely brilliant move.
Hurt me, Snake! Hurt me more! Yeah, that one.
But then there's also the newest DLC that was just released earlier this week, in fact, on Tuesday.
What's that? Oh, you're just gonna show
I
us.
will show you!
You know, while we're doing this, I would like to point out, what do the Hooliganz consider to be bad DLC? Well, DLC that breaks the game, a la Capcom X Tekken.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, yeah. Can never forgive them for breaking the game and fucking it up. There's no excuses for that. None! If you get paid for this shit, you got niggas like Infinite out there putting out free Mugen characters that do better than what the fucking original Capcom characters do in some cases. And same thing here. If you're getting paid cash fucking money to program and do this shit, yo ass better not be coming from DeVry. You better be coming from something a bit higher, you know what I mean? This is fucking Capcom. This isn't a fucking startup indie publication. God damn it, you have to have a set of standards. For me, that's where it is.
And there are even some indie companies, I am looking at you, Lab Zero Games, you marvelous bastards, that do the DLC thing right. I mean, let's face it. As far as DLC handling goes in fighting games, there are two places where I have seen it done so well that if it weren't that for the free DLC that they added, I would pay. That would be Tekken Tag Tournament 2 with their free character DLC that all you have to do is just connect to the internet for, and boom, you get like 7 more characters added to the roster for free. Fuck yeah. And then there's Skullgirls going through Indiegogo and actually going to the fans and saying, hey, this is the lore we have for the game. These are the characters we have set up. You pick. We're going to add these characters to this game, and the rest that aren't chosen will very likely be in the upcoming sequel.
And it's good. It's a good thing. Oh, another example of bad DLC, by the way. When you cut it from the original story and then present it as a separate bullshit side arc or whatever. I'm looking at you, EA, and yes, I'm looking at one of my favorite games out there, Dragon Age Origins. You cannot tell me... No, but everybody knows by now Shale was originally one of the original fucking members of the damn thing. You can't tell me otherwise. You can't. And even then, there's certain points in... I mean, now, admittedly, the latter storyline DLC was fairly fun, like with Witch Hunt, but they got Golems of Amgarok, which sucked balls. It's like, it was just traipsing around pretty much in a circle jerk with a bunch of dwarves. If I wanted to do that, I would watch Willow and masturbate again today.
Really? I hope not.
Hey, you know, I'm just saying, Warwick Davis, man. Warwick Davis, bro. Okay, I'm actually joking about that part, but Burble Cut was a pretty badass. He was badass. I'm just saying that, you know, brother knows what looks like he knows how to handle a spear.
But back down to the DLC for Metal Gear Rising. What just released this week on Tuesday...
Here it comes.
...was a brand new DLC chapter. Pretty much a separate self-contained story. Detailing the recent history, the recent past... of Jetstream Sam.
That incredible badass we were just talking about.
And yes, my voice cracked at that. I know, I don't care. It's freaking Jetstream Sam.
God damn it, he is awesome.
And take note. Notice anything strange about Sam? Like, you know, how both of his arms match?
Exoskeleton? Not a cyborg?
Yes. Raiden actually mentions it after you finish the last boss fight with Sam near the end of the game. He had barely any cyborg enhancements. Literally, the only enhancement he had was his sword arm.
Yeah. So when he did that whole badass gunblade thing, throwing off his own timing to cut your shit, that was all Sam.
Let's just say, I'll go ahead and skip this cutscene. You know, I don't want to spoil it too much for you.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, by the way.
But let's just say that Sam
Rocks.
Sam pretty much does everything that he does to Raiden, and he rocks that kid's world.
Another thing I'd like to point out,
He does it with only an exoskeleton.
Yeah.
Gray Fox style.
I would like to point out, though, that, much like every other co-pro game, though, this is one of those kind of things where, yeah, you have secondary weapons. This is one thing we didn't bring up was secondary weapons. Holy shit.
Well, you did
shaft grenades, electro...
Well, you did technically mention it with the other weapons that he could acquire from the bosses.
Oh, that's true. But rocket launchers, those kind of secondary weapons, though, the more universal ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so much like any other good Metal Gear Solid game, you're gonna get this work. You know what I mean? And even though you don't need it, to be quite honest, in fact, the blades are, as you can tell, much more effective than your secondary weapons. At least in my opinion, from what I was playing it. But at the same time, you know, every now and then there is an actual stealth mechanic to this, but honestly, like we said in the beginning,
you can play through the game just run and gun, hack and slash style.
Which is exactly the style that I play, because you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna wade into the middle of the room, wave my genitals around, all 8 of them, even the Armageddon penis. Those of you who have just joined us in Season 1, Episode 1 of the Hooliganz, yes, you should really go back and listen to Season 0 just for the fun of it. Suffice it to say, I'm going to go into the middle of the room and fuck everybody's shit up, because you know what, damn it? You're going to get this work. You must cut the watermelon!
Yeah, I think that was actually one part of the gameplay that I sadly neglected to mention, and I do apologize.
What's that? Cutting the watermelon?
No, the stealth portions of the game, because again, this is a Metal Gear game.
If you can sneak up behind somebody, you can do an insta-gib. And you do get a pretty interesting, a fairly cool, you know, scene, I guess, you know, a still frame of it. But honestly...
And in some cases, you even get commentary, like, say, from Courtney or from Kevin, you know, just commenting on, you know, your stealth skills.
Yeah. And the same thing also if you do get a chance to both rescue or kill hostages. Well, not kill, but allow them to be killed, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. In which case, that is a very important part of this. Now, they make mention in the codec that you really shouldn't destroy the environment, but I didn't really notice any difference if you did or didn't. Like, they didn't say, dude, stop slashing with palm trees, or dude, that's somebody's house. That would be funny, though, in my opinion. That would be funny as fuck. Oh, shit! That's awesome. Suffice it to say, this game is good. So, I think we've actually covered just about everything that we ever really do cover.
We've covered just about everything that we do cover. However, there is one thing.
Damn.
There is one thing that I would like to actually be able to get to before we end this review.
What's that?
A part of this that you really need to see.
Oh, okay. For the record, I have not played the DLC yet. I have not seen the... Well, I played it earlier, but I didn't get past a certain point because I've been playing other games. Literally, I've just been playing other games. I haven't had a chance to really, get back into this game. So naturally, I go, fuck the tutorial. I'm going to go in hard charger. And then realized I really should have played the tutorial. Like every game ever.
Oh, and notice that little...
Yeah, did he just bounce off the wall?
Yep.
Holy shit, a wall bounce. Fuck you! So, suffice it to say, well, let's see, what have we covered with this? We've covered just about everything. The extras are worth it. Even if they, and now, if, let's say, oh, there's something we didn't cover, price. Well, you covered it earlier, but honestly, I am not surprised that, much like Dragon's Dogma, this game is taking forever to break down into like the $30 to $20 range, because this is a good game. It just came out, like, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, thereabouts,
like
yeah.
So, but honestly, the reason why it's not in the $30 range yet, while it's still $45 to $50, I think I did find one for $45, by the way. But it was probably scratched the fuck up. But, I mean, let's face it, this game's still $50 to $60, like you said earlier. Even used. Where can you find it? Hell, Gamefly, GameStop, the usual spots. If you don't know, well, shit. Ask us. Hell, look at the comments section below.
And actually, as for pricing and DLC,
I would say I would easily do $5 to $10. I would do $10 for this chapter.
$9.99.
For real? Good call.
So yeah, it's $10 to have this slick bastard gracing your PS3, and then it gets better.
Oh!
Greetings, samurai.
Does that sound familiar?
Is that LQ? It's before Blade Wolf, isn't it? So it's got to be LQ. Yeah.
Seeing as how this is your first time seeing this cutscene, I figured I'd just let you experience it.
Chainsaw Tail Blade. Jesus Christ.
And you are? LQ-84I, a prototype UG with a conversation
Because why not?
interface.
A talking robot dog, basically.
Actually, yeah, that's exactly what it is, actually.
Oh, just sharpening my skills. Wandering the earth, dispensing justice, but only to those who deserve it. Such as outlaws, desperados,
You refer to World Marshal,
the ones holding your leash, right?
the ones
You know, when speaking about battlefield philosophy, they actually talk about, at some point in time, how artificially intelligent UGs are pretty much like the next step in Metal Gear technology, so to speak, much like cyborgs are the next step in human mercenary evolution, so to speak, once again. And, yeah,
But notice how
you just...
a lot of these interactions are very similar to how Raiden handled the LQ.
Well,
order my memory would be wiped.
the philosophical similarities between Raiden and Raiden, whatever, and Sam are there. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna say that they're two sides of the same coin, but it's pretty close to it. You know what I mean?
As well.
Whereas Jack Raiden was forged in the fires of war, literally. Sam was just more of a mercenary type, you know, roaming, fencing with the whip ass.
And again, the music.
I was gonna say, I hear I'm my own master now. Yep, that is. I fucking love the song.
And yes, the lyrics.
Damn! Now, one thing I would like to mention about the sound, going back to that we didn't mention this time around, we both completely forgot to. The soundtrack was arranged or directed by the same guy who did the Devil May Cry goodness from like 4 and 3, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. And that is fucking awesome. Wait, did you just get dizzied?
Yep.
Oh, shit. Oh, that was cool. Ah, damn it, that's cool. So, yeah. Glorious noise. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. That's the whole point to a game that is crazy general. You know what I mean? I expect that kind of shit nowadays, especially from games like this. Holy crap. Take it to the stairs because why the fuck not? Oh, re-engage. Holy shit.
I think we cut the catwalk to bits.
And you know what's the best part is that when you're playing the vanilla game proper, and you come across LQ the first time, yeah, he pretty much destroys a hallway. Just
a hallway?
Destroys the fucking hallway. And yeah, the hallway you're in.
I was about to say, I think he destroyed more than just the hallway, buddy.
I thought he like just tore the whole goddamn hall, just ripped it to shreds with his chainsaw blade there. Damn, I love that. That is just awesome. So, spoiler. So, there's no way in hell they're gonna let you tear him apart in this one, is it? 'Cause, I mean, yeah, you do that with Raiden before, you know, because of Blade Wolf, you know, as you mentioned earlier. But no way they'll let you do it with Jetstream Sam. This technically took place before all that. Oh, there we go.
Actually,
oh, wow.
If I hadn't taken down his health, I would have gotten the chance to do the...
What?
You fight because you're forced to.
Oh, yeah. It just dawned on me the ending of the game proper and Blade Wolf mention and Sam.
Now.
That glorious bastard.
So playing through this, not only do you get, like, you know, a further introduction to Sam and his recent history, but you also get to see, you know, in a way, you also get to see just the interaction between him and the wolf before Raiden gets his hands on the wolf. And you also see, you know, again, how things aren't so tense between the two when you actually meet up with... Oh, jeez.
Are you about to die? Holy shit, that was unexpected. Well, suffice to say, I think we've covered just about everything that we need to cover with this game, to be quite honest. I do believe it's time to render unto the people the verdict. God, that is so cool.
Actually, yes, that seems to be a perfect time to pause and go ahead and lay down the verdict.
Well, suffice it to say, audio is, oh my god, orgasmic. The visuals, great. The sound, awesome. Voice acting,
It's like voice acting, good, but
except
again,
for
has its hiccups.
The game itself, the gameplay is fucking addictive. It's so wonderful. Zandatsu, the blade mode, I fucking love this game. The only thing that could make it better is if they added grapples and being able to use human shields, but I thoroughly want to see this in the sequel. Let's get some more of that co-pro ingenious bullshit of, hey, why not throw a magazine to distract a motherfucker and then hit him with the right? Do that Kansas City shuffle. Everything, I even like the DLC for this game, and you know I have issues with modern day DLC practices.
Oh, speaking of the DLC, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but just to make sure I get it out there, the next DLC pack that's coming for this is the Blade Wolf chapter.
Yes! So, Ace, do you want to start off or shall I? Who shall give their score first?
You go first, man.
9. 9! No, seriously, 9. Even now, even with the deliciously semi-chili cheese dog flavored aftertaste, I don't know where that came from. I think I'm going to make chili cheese dogs. Yeah, I'm going to make chili cheese dogs later for dinner is what I'm saying. Suffice it to say, I got some of y'all hungry out there with that, didn't I? All I'm saying is, this game is a solid 9. I want to see more. I would give this a 10. I would put this up to the exalted status of Godhand! Except, I want a sequel. Hell, I want a sequel for Godhand, but they might have fucked that up. Godhand was perfect the way it was, don't fuck with it. This, I want to see a sequel to. There are unanswered things, there are places they can improve on, there are places that, Quentin Flynn, we're not beating you up, bro. You tried hard, we understand, but come on. Take your lumps like a man, Twinkle Toes.
And besides, in the sequel, that just means if you're still controlling Raiden, then that just means that, again, as a voice actor, he gets the chance to, take his experiences from the first one and polish it up.
Do better. I have only 2 voices this time. Jack and Raiden. Or just straight Jack. I don't care. But so, with me, from my quarter of the room, 9.
Even with my gripe about the voice acting of the main character that you control over the course of the game,
Quentin Flynn.
Even though I have my gripe about that, I'd still give it a solid 9 as well.
Da-da-da.
I mean, even with that, the few things that I still think could be answered with just a little bit of exposition in-game, but seem to be apparently getting answered just fine with the DLC chapters, which...
Looking forward to this.
For Jetstream Sam, I thank you so much. Oh, you made me happy.
Capcom, you've done well. Co-Pro. Wait, Capcom.
No,
Co-Pro, you've done well.
Capcom has apparently done well by letting the guys at Platinum go and letting them spread their wings.
Run wild. God damn, yes. I mean, honestly, so, in other words, the average is solid 9 out of 10 on this game.
Yep.
This is a good game.
I mean, if I had something equivalent to Angry Joe's badass seal of approval, I'd stamp it twice on this motherfucker.
It's good. It's a good, fun game. You should try it, especially if you like the crazy brand of action adventure.
Just if you like what this game is described as, high speed slashing action.
Yes.
If you like, just pure action gameplay. If you were addicted to the gameplay in Bayonetta, in Anarchy Reigns, in games like Dynasty Warriors, then you will love this game. If you are a fan of the Metal Gear series, if you've been keeping abreast on your Metal Gear Solid lore, then I think you would really like this game. It's a love letter to fans of the Metal Gear series, yes, while also saying, hey, this is what's possible for a new franchise branching out from Metal Gear.
Now, I would like to throw this out there, though, right off the bat. Now, there has been the usual trollish fanboy wars going down about the canonicity of this series. And I just want to throw this out there, just right off the bat. Like you just stated, this is a branching. This is another way of viewing the Metal Gear universe. That's all.
Again, this is Metal Gear Rising.
This is not Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, there's a major difference. Not only in gameplay, but also in who's running the damn thing. Yeah, Co-Pro's running the storyboards. They got the majority of it. But let's face it, this is a Platinum game. The gameplay is just there. Well, honestly, it's, as I said earlier, the unholy union of Platinum and Co-Pro. But still, the Zandatsu and Blade mode, that's them, baby.
Pretty much, if you want a collaboration game that feels very much like the fusion of its parts, but when looked at from the perspective of solely one part or another can still stand on its own, then this is the game for you. It comes highly recommended.
This is Overkill as directed by Bruce Dickinson. This is Testament as, collaborated with Ozzy Osbourne. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing this out there. Y'all metalheads know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Tigers of Pantang, baby.
So, with that stated, thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Thanks a lot for sticking around on this
long-winded
but very, very long overdue return to form.
One that will actually stick this time and get uploaded and won't, magically virus. God,
I hope not. I swear if it does, I'm coming to your place and I'm whooping your ass.
This time it actually might be my fault. Before we go, though, as always, some shout-outs and adverts.
Oh, definitely.
Go.
You'll be finding links to all of these in the description below. So, with that said, shout-outs to the entire crew at Team Hack and Slash.
Yo!
The channels have been doing phenomenally well. I mean, we've got even Dark Masamune 87. He's almost hit his True Warrior of the Three Kingdoms status. He's almost got his 1,000th subscriber.
Nice.
I want to be there to screen cap that.
Nice.
But yeah, everyone's coming along fantastic. Crimson Kunoichi with her Sengoku Basara playthroughs and walkthroughs, as well as her Ninja Gaiden 3 playthroughs. Jersey Boy with the Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires commentary and playthroughs. Hell, you get me hyped up to play that shit again, so that should tell you something.
And for those of you who are actually looking around on these, make sure to check out our Proto Season 1 bullshittery with Zhonghei the Fabulous One.
Oh, yeah. Our Dynasty Warriors 8 dual commentary.
Where I actually jumped in on that one. That shit was fun.
That
I'm
was
just throwing it out there.
special.
If I may, I hope you don't mind me just jacking this a little. Team UFG, United Fighters Group.
Exactly.
Give love.
If you're in the Bellingham area, we're talking Linden, Birch Bay, Alger. If you're in the
Whatcom County.
If you're in Whatcom County, if you're anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, and you want to come chill with some of the coolest dudes, then look us up.
Was it Wednesday nights? Is the fight nights going down over at Reset Games?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna be doing it Wednesday nights every other week. In fact, the boss man just went ahead and put up another preview trailer for it on YouTube. I'll link to that as well, so we can check it out.
Yeah.
This coming Wednesday is actually going to be something of a special fight night because it's going to be the release party for Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Oh yes, which I would love to get my hands on that game because Batman must reign supreme.
So we'll be featuring stuff from Injustice.
Wait, Batman's in that one, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We'll be featuring stuff from Injustice. We'll probably have a couple of TVs set up with Mortal Kombat.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun.
So yeah, if you're in the area, look us up. Come out, have fun, spread the love.
Whoop ass. Otherwise, don't. Well, I don't know about you guys, but hey, my friends list is kind of empty on PSN. You know what I mean? So hit me up at Griefer J. I do believe. I think that's mine. Yeah, it's mine. Griefer J. I gotta ask Ace what my PSN name is.
That should tell you something.
I just get on and watch Netflix. No, I do other things. I play the Vidya. It's just, I do spend a lot of time on the Netflix. Of course, I've been writing a lot, but I'll get into that first. You wanna, or shall I just jump in?
Oh, go for it.
Cool. Now, as some of y'all may or may not know, that bastard from Bellingham has branched off into books. I know, it's kind of weird. Like I was in a heavy metal band for like a year, and now I'm writing. But hey, don't complain. Shit's good. Suffice it to say, you can catch me over at facebook.com/author of the things. So that's where you can find out the latest on the Generalist novella series. Action, adventure, urban fantasy, violence done right. And if the two main characters kind of remind you of somebody, that was done on purpose. Hell, he's one of my fucking beta readers. Also, you can find out the latest information on Killer 13, which is just coming out in a new anthology that's being busted out. Select anthology. Apocalypse, Tales of the End, I think it's called.
Nice.
Some shit like that. No, Requiem for the End. Either way. Killer 13. Uber violent short stories certain to tickle your funny bone and make you want to get out and rape a car. Rape a car. Otherwise, you can catch me, as always, at thepenismysword.com. You'll catch this broadcast relinked over at Chaos Party Radio. ChaosParty.com?
ChaosParty.com.
That was it.
Which is also where you'll find the previous podcasts from Season 0.
Yes. And above, with the other service we were doing before you switched to YouTube, YouTubes! And also, last but not least, you can always find out the latest bullshit on the Hooliganz outside of the studio at nerfallthethings.com. That's including some of the photo shoots that we've done and the upcoming bullshit we're doing, such as the Bone King's Daughter 2. Rebels of the Grave, I think it was called. Rebels of the Grave? Something like that. And that one's where you'll catch your boy, that bastard, playing the Beast, as well as the Bone King himself, and Ace playing as... Was it the Black Knight or the Dark Knight?
The Black Knight.
The Black Knight. Suffice it to say, it's a nice little presentation. I think it's quite worth your time.
I'd say so.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the first part actually came out really fucking cool.
Thank you. It was definitely hard work. That's what we do, though. That's what we do.
Hey, hard work pays off.
Not with me, apparently. I'm broke as a motherfucker. Suffice to say, at some point in time, y'all hear back from your girl, Varel Kethand. Y'all know how it is. It's the Hooliganz, damn it. We'll be doing our usual bullshit of bringing in friends and yelling at people and cursing and dirty talk.
Dirty talk.
Dirty! But don't you have a... what about your channel? What's your channel doing? YouTube.
Oh, well, what's my channel doing? You're here watching this, right? This is what my channel's doing.
Walkthroughs, this.
But also, please keep an eye out and show some love for when I finally managed to get all the editing software and get everything set up so that I can officially start bringing you the Salty Runback review.
Oh, yes.
And I'm also planning on doing something of a series of gameplay videos mixed in with socio-political commentary.
What?
Yeah, gaming and politics, two things that probably shouldn't mix. But you know what? I've been feeling the need to rant lately, so this shit is going to happen.
Okay, I might jump in on that. I hope you don't mind.
You know, it'll be kind of like The Boys, but with video game footage.
The Boys, but with video.
Yeah, your brain hurts, doesn't it?
Ow!
Your brain hurts, don't it?
No!
Birds fly, grass grows, and brother, I hurt people.
Oh, shit.
But until then, again, thanks a lot for watching, you guys. This is, as always, your intrepid tactician, Blazing Ace.
And the beast, the brute, that bastard from Bellingham himself, me.
We are the Hooliganz,
And
you're not. Peace.